Hello everyone, I'm back to show you another journal that I've just completed. This time it is a kit from Screech Owl Studio, and I've used everything in this is from Screech Owl. And the name of the kit is Darling Dandelions, and I will link that below so you can find it if you choose. The size of the journal is 5 1/4 by 7 1/4. That's 5 1/4 wide, 7 1/4 tall. Has a 1.5 inch spine. It is a hardcover, and I've used digitals from the kit on the front and the back. It has a Tim Holtz hitch post closure, and we'll go inside. This is a Martha Stewart punch that I have used, and some of this is scrapbook paper that's been in my stash also, so it's a little mixture, but the kit itself is all Screech Owl. This book belongs to is a stamp that I have, and I added that. This is some of the background paper in the kit. I believe this is too. And I've added the seam binding bow at the top. And then this is the same that's on the front, and it says some see weeds, others see sunshine on their lawn. So it's all in the way we look at dandelions, so I'll let you decide which direction you want to take with it. And this is a pocket. I've made this a pocket with that same background paper that was on the front cover. Here are a couple of tags, a little honey jar, and a little girl in her garden. And those are lined on the back. Here's a pocket. I've done a little cluster of, this stuff. I can't think what it is, but anyway, it says butterflies and flowers that fly. And then I've added this is a Tim Holtz die cut flower here. Then the other page, I've added stickles to add some interest to the butterfly, and that is in the book. Here's a little poem, or in the kit, and here's a little poem here that I won't take the time to read it, but it's a fun little poem. And I just love how she's edged everything. The colors are just so pretty and bright and cheerful. Here I've made it's a little pocket. I've added a little flower here. I think those are from Hobby Lobby flowers. They come on the roll. And then there's seam binding on the back of it, just to give it a little depth. Here's another couple little tags, and those are lined also. These are all things from the kit. I've added lace here that was gifted to me. I've sewn around all the edges of the papers, and in most of my journals I do that for added strength to the paper. When you use it daily or write in it regularly, it just kind of adds a little more stability, I think. And here's some background paper. I've added more of that yellow lace, and here's another Tim Holtz die cut that I have done, and I've actually used oxide inks and colored it and filled it in, and so that it would have some color here. I've added a little gold on the edges of the Martha Stewart punch there. Here's another journal card, and I've done stenciling here, and you can actually write on those places. It's light enough that you could take a darker pen and write on there so you wouldn't lose any writing space. As small as this journal is, there's a lot of writing space in it. And here's a little image from the kit, and then I've added a bow here from seam binding, and there's more little journaling cards and tags in the basket. left this plain. This is coffee dyed paper. And here's an image in the kit. Here's one, and I made a little pocket with this. Added another Tim Holtz flower that I have done with the oxide inks. Added a little seam binding there for interest. There's another little piece of poetry there, and the decoration down the side that is on the page. And here's another little tiny tag. I've added yellow seam binding and some embroidery thread into a bow here on this tag, and that's plain on the back. And here's more of that yellow lace trim. I think that's actually vintage seam binding. It was in a package of, an old package of seam binding when I received it. And more coffee dye paper and space to write on. The same here. I've added a little of the oxide ink there to give it a little more color. And here's trim that, again, I have had. And here is vellum that I've printed on from the kit. This is a page from the kit of lined paper. And here is another one. I believe this one I printed out and tore to make a pocket here and added stickles. Here's another journaling card that I've left plain on the back. Stenciling here, more places to write as well as here. And this is another page from the kit. And here's the doily, and I've added the oxide around the doily to give it color around the edges, and you can actually write in the center of this. It's smooth enough that you could put notes or little things to yourself on there. And here is a double pocket, and that again has another little poem on it. I've made it into a journaling card, added the lace trim, and the other pocket is right above it. This is another thing in the kit, and I made it into a pocket, and here's a journaling card here. And there's more of the Tim Holtz die cuts. Excuse me. And here is seam binding as a ribbon tied around the die cuts to make it look like a bouquet. And here is paper that I've coffee dyed on my funny little polka dot tray. It's a browning tray or something that you put in the oven, and I use that for to coffee dye and give it that design. It's light on one side, and on the other side it's dark dots. I've added a little oxide ink, and here's some of the background paper that I've made into a tag. That might be a tag in the book. I'm not sure if I made that or if it's in the book. I think it's already in the kit. And I put the brown seam binding for the bow. And here's this little pocket. You can write there. Here's more writing space with stenciling on it. Here's a coffee dyed paper that I've laid a doily on, and it gives the impression there and a little interest instead of a dull coffee dyed page. Here is more writing space with lines. This is a page from the kit, and then I've cut it down and made it into a pocket, added some trim that I had in my stash, and then I did the Martha Stewart punch, and there's a journaling card, and you can actually write in between there. Here's another pocket from background paper. Stenciling here. Here's another tag from the kit. I've added a topper here and used the Martha Stewart punch there. I've added a seam binding bow, as I did here also. And then this is one of the butterflies, 3-dimensional, that I make. and added the lace trim here. This is the center of the signature. There are 60 pages in this journal. And here is another coffee dyed paper to write on, and the lined as here, and here's the other side of that doily, the paper with the doily laid on it, and here's more that's stenciled. I made this belly band, added the trim, and here's a little booklet that there are several pages in this to write on. And here's another pocket and journaling card, more of that stenciled paper with polka dots on it, and more stenciling here as well as here, and then the oxide ink added. And then here's the other side of the doily, and this time it's kind of a green color. Here is a circle punch, and I'm not sure if that is, I don't think that's in the kit. I made that. It's a circle punch, and then I cut the 2 circles and cut that one in half and made it into a pocket. Here is the lace trim that I've been using, and here's a little tiny tag. And I added some embroidery floss for the little topper there, and that's even lined on the back for little tiny notes. And the same with this one. It's a little taller tag. I've added lace for the topper on that. And then there's these 2 tags that are in the kit, and I've added the lace toppers for both on both of those. Another page from the kit. This is vellum that I printed on and added the lace trim. 2 more tags. I like these vellum, especially when they're printed on, the vellum pockets. And here is another stencil page, another lined page, and the other side of that vellum. Here is another page that can be written on, and I've trimmed that. I've just used a scrap piece of paper and used the Martha Stewart punch on it, added a little gold and sewn around it, and made it just a little trim. That is not a tuck spot. More places to write. Here's a little envelope that is filled with, I've used the punch on scrap paper there, and there's plenty of room to write on that little piece of paper. And I have used I get invisible Velcro tabs or little circles, and I've used that on there to keep it closed. And I've added the lace trim here, a little bow here from seam binding. And here's another couple of tags that are in the kit. Another poem here. And here is a butterfly, and I believe that is a Martha Stewart. No, that's a Tim Holtz punch, I believe, a Sizzix, one of those punch, and I made it a double. The bottom is solid, and then I did this one out of the die cut, and then made it into a pocket. And then there's all these, and there's a little tiny Tim Holtz die cut flower that I did, and the seam binding is on that for bows. And there's a little tiny card that is in the kit that you can write on the back. I've lined that also. Another plain page to write on with some of the oxide on it. Here's another pocket that's in the kit. I've trimmed it in the lace, and this is a pocket within a pocket, and so I put a pocket on the tag, and this is in the kit, seam binding for the bow and embroidery floss for that bow, so you can write on the back of that one as well as this one. So it's double duty. Then here is a kit or a pocket that I've added this little deal that's in the kit. I've added a trim from the Martha Stewart punch there from a scrap piece, and added the pocket, made it into a pocket. And then here is a journaling card, and the little girl has a handful of dandelions she's picking, and more writing space with lined paper on both sides. Here's another pocket from the kit, and this is also a pocket, and here is a journaling card. There are at least 35 journaling cards and tags in this book. And then here's another pocket and another little poem there. Here is the back. I've added this is a flower that I get at Hobby Lobby, and then I've added some of those gold flakes to it, to the center. I took this original center off and added the flakes because I liked that better. And this is the letter that I put in all of my journals when they go to their new owner. And that concludes this video, and I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you go look at Yvonne's Etsy shop. I will list it below, and look for Darling Dandelions. And it's a fun little kit to work with. And if you don't make journals, then this is available. It is in my Etsy shop now. And so stop over there. It is listed below also. I thank you for taking the time to watch, and for all your comments and messages that I get. It's good to be back, and I'm trying to stay pretty steady with it now. So I will be back soon with another video because I have more journals finished and ready to show you. Thanks again. Put a like, subscribe to my channel, and have a wonderful day.